'Tis the season of love, and what better way to celebrate than taking your other half to a very romantic love hotel? Yes, these things actually do exist, and we are about to go into a bit more detail today to find out why they exist and why you'd want to go to one. Well, buckle in folks, it's going to be a pretty saucy video today. Hello! Welcome to Brain Spill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank, and the topic of today's video was more so out of curiosity than anything else. Yes, the curious side got the better of me, and I decided to go down this rabbit hole and regret ever finding what was down at the bottom. The concept of a love hotel is quite bizarre, and I just had to do a bit more digging to figure out what the whole point of this was. Instead of learning about an interesting moment in history or a cool movie fact, today we're going down a different route. And plain and simple, the whole reason that you have a love hotel is to play the birds and the bees, either with a partner or maybe someone that you've just met. So, yeah. And yes, I know that alone is not going to make a 10-minute video, so we are about to go into quite a bit of detail about how this came to be and what to expect when you find yourself in a love hotel. And no, don't expect anything that's going to go against the community guidelines. I ain't getting a strike for this shit, so just bear with me. The thing I'm more interested in is the phenomenon of how it's largely centered around Japan, of all places, and why the idea of a love hotel has become so popular in that part of the world. Like I said, curiosity got the better of me. As a matter of fact, the history of the love hotel can be traced back all the way to the 17th century, in the early Edo period, in which various inns or tea houses may appear on the outside to be just that. But those in the know would be able to use discreet secret entrances and exits to carry out the dirty deed. The next prominent recording of the use of a love hotel was soon after World War II, where many tea houses sprung up as per the demand of occupying forces. That's with the recent abolition of legal prostitution in 1958, when this trade moved into an underground business. This, of course, being one side of the story, as even married couples in Japan started to use the love hotel for their own reasons. Japanese housing trends seemed to go in the direction where, as it got more populous and Japan itself got much more built up, then housing itself got smaller and smaller, and basically you'd be living in pretty close proximity to either a neighbour or even another family member. So you don't particularly get the privacy that you would want being at home. So in the 60s that became incredibly popular, and even as a trend for adults to go somewhere private to do, However, this was not just exclusive to happy couples, as this of course would also be a spot where secret lovers would go. No need for a dogging retreat in the woods next time you want to go and do the deed. During the economic bubble period in the late 80s and early 90s, love hotels became pretty much a staple of any date, which sounds actually really odd. Maybe that's just me, or maybe just a Western perspective on the matter, but yeah, it became really popular. But of course, with any booming industry, particularly when it relates to the oldest trade in the world, it's big business and competition is rife. And the financials behind it actually make this a much more reliable and big business practice than you might expect. So big in fact that the annual revenue estimated for this trade alone is worth about $40 billion. Wow. That is double the revenue for anime in the country, which should just put some perspective on the matter for all you weebs out there. Now, this data was from 2009, so the data might be a little bit out of date, but love hotels are still around and still going strong today. So I can't expect the whole thing to have dropped off that quickly. And yes, the love hotel is still a staple of the Japanese dating scene. However, for many people, particularly tourists and foreigners, this all does sound like a little bit of a foreign concept. It's not really something that we have over here. Not only is this an obvious draw for tourists to perhaps come and have a look and see what it is, but apparently even the rates of accommodation itself are very good value, meaning that even if you weren't going to a love hotel to do the deed, I don't really know how else to describe it in these videos, but yeah, the price is good, so you could literally just go and stay there if you just want to make sure that you probably don't take a black light with you and just hope and pray that the sheets have been cleaned. It is estimated that there are about 100,000 love hotels in Japan, with a view of changing many of these love hotels into regular hotels when the Tokyo 2020 Olympics was coming around. This just goes to show how many there were and the fact that they could change them into normal hotels just because of the convenience and location of many of these establishments. As a matter of fact, the love hotel is so embedded into society and has such a cultural significance in that they were added to the first edition of emojis for Japanese carriers. Yeah, I'm not kidding. You ever seen this emoji? That is what a love hotel is. I mean, it was pretty clear from the fact that it looks like a building with a big heart on it, but yeah, that's because they were so popular. And hey, if you ever needed to send the message to someone that you were going to go to a love hotel, just send an emoji. I'm also pretty sure that that emoji was never in the Emoji Movie, and probably for good reason. Whilst not to the same extent that Japan has, there are actually a number of other countries that have actually got on board and actually adopted the love hotel idea. With many countries adopting this, such as Singapore, South Korea, Hong Kong, Thailand, Chile, Panama, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Argentina, Mexico, Colombia, Uruguay, Brazil, Puerto Rico, Nigeria, New Zealand, and Australia. Even Canada and the United States for a time even had these. But if you want this to be as authentic as possible, you know that Japan is the place to be. I presume. I mean, I've never been to one, and I'd probably go just because the accommodation rates were good. No other reason. Now, with the love hotels being particularly popular, you of course can expect there being many different spin-offs and themes and different hotels to go and try out, if that's your cup of tea. So they would have various different designs such as jungles, kitty hotels, underwater theme areas, the list could go on. Some of the strangest decisions behind hotels came in the ideas of things like a Christmas-themed hotel called Hotel Chapel Christmas. Hotel US Kaibojo is a mock hospital ward bedroom where you can get up to some medical roleplay, along with full costume rental. Just make sure it's been cleaned first. Hotel Windbell, in which an underwater themed hotel is on display, full on being from the set of The Little Mermaid, and even the Batcave. This one is the coolest by far. There are of course a whole myriad of different themes and ideas that you can go to, and well, like I say, if that floats your boat, then the world's your oyster. Well, when I say the world, I mean mainly Japan, but I'm sure you could find a love hotel for you. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be notified as soon as I upload my next video, be sure to hit the bell button. And if you've got any ideas for what topics you'd like me to discuss next, let me know down in the comments below. As always, sources used in the video will be in the description. You might be wondering why I decided to make this into a full video and why I decided to go into such detail about it. And it's one of those things, particularly for someone who is not in that culture and in that country, it's quite a fascinating thing to look at, to maybe try and get an understanding as to how it came to be and why it's so popular. And yes, this channel is not going to shy away from some of the more raunchy topics every now and again. Monetized or not, I'm going to give you the inside scoop every time. Yes, even if there's a love hotel in the theme of an ice cream truck, that inside scoop, I'm going to give you that as well. All in the name of the season of Valentine's. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.